Hi, I'm Sheila DeLuca, and welcome to the Atrium. All of us at DeLuca Leadership, the Business Link, and Spark Niagara are extremely excited for the launch of the program, the Atrium. As you would think of growing, cultivating, and harvesting a garden, conversations on the Atrium will focus on the planting of seeds for a growth mindset and the rising to a healthy, hopeful, and optimistic bright future. Our shows will focus on a theme based on the guest star's experience for motivation and encouragement. Here on the Atrium, our intention is to allow for the conversations to be open and genuine regarding where we go from here and what matters most. Our stories hope to inspire the professional and business communities, the volunteer programs, and families. Our guests are the exemplars of the top business and community leaders and critical thinkers whose word matches their action, because that is what we need now, action. This morning, we are at the beautiful Rockaway Glen in St. Catharines, in the private banquet hall overlooking the golf course. This is the only golf course in Canada that has a restaurant, golf course, and winery all on one property. This morning, we welcome our guest star today, who was born and raised in Welland, Ontario. She has been managing local Chamber of Commerce in Niagara since 1990. She has assisted hundreds of entrepreneurs in building their businesses and managing their growth. With 30 years of experience, she has provided guidance and support to young entrepreneurs and displaced workers, setting up businesses and helping seasoned professionals. She has been a teacher to postgraduate students of economics and business enterprise for tourism development at Niagara College. Her passion and enthusiasm for her community are also demonstrated through her extensive community service. This woman serves for the Niagara Falls Tourism Association and the Niagara Foundation for Catholic Education. She has been a chaperone for Dreams Take Flight and an active member of the board of directors for Mapleview Charities. This woman has seen many ideas, businesses, and innovations come and go into Niagara, expanding from Port Colborne and Fort Erie to Welland and Pelham and into Niagara Falls. This woman is truly a champion for all things Niagara. It is an honor to introduce not only a businesswoman, but a mother to 2 daughters and a loving wife for 33 years. Executive Director for South Niagara Chamber of Commerce, Dolores Fabiano. Good morning, Dolores. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Excellent. I'm so excited to meet you and have you here today on the Atrium.
Well, I'm thrilled to be here.
Dolores, you have an amazing career for the past 30 years, and you truly are a champion for Niagara. What led you into your industry and the passion you have for Niagara today?
Oh, so long ago. I feel old today. Well, first of all, I knew that I wanted to build my career and my life here in Niagara. I'm born and raised here. Most of my family is still here, so I knew that's where I needed to be. I was working shortly after I graduated from college. I was working as a marketing coordinator in Fort Erie, and 2 positions came available in Welland. So one was for executive director with the Chamber of Commerce, and the other was for an executive director with United Way. So I got the interview with the Chamber first, and 2 wonderful individuals who interviewed me, and I connected with them right away. They were very passionate about their own businesses, but about the Chamber and about the community as well. And they were really offering, a blank canvas, and that really was exciting to me. So it just clicked, and I was lucky enough to get that job. And I've been blessed to be able to work with a number of people who, again, are really passionate not only about their own businesses, but also about the community and giving back. And that blank canvas still excites me today.
Great. I read that you ensure that the Chamber is able to work for its members and the community. What does that mean, and what does that look like for you on a daily basis?
Yeah, well, it means that if there's a need within our business community or the community at large, we try and fill it. We try and anticipate it. So quite often, we're successful because we know what our members need before they even know they need it. And it's beyond the business community. A great example would be back in the early 90s, we had a director on our board who came to a meeting and said, we've got a problem in this community. We have people who are hungry. And I've been talking to the folks who run the food banks, and there's no food. And we need to step up and we need to do something. And so, a few folks around the table were like, okay, well, what can we do? And that director said, well, we need to have a citywide food drive. We need to get everybody involved, and we need to, stock the shelves. And so he took the lead, and we had volunteers come in, hundreds of volunteers, and we met every week for months, and we ran the first citywide food drive. Mm-hmm. And then we handed it off to different groups, and that food drive still happens today. But we saw the need, and great people around the table who stood up and made it happen. That's our role.
That's your role. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, helping everyone.
Yeah.
So as a mother to your daughters Emily and Lauren, and to a wife to Tony for 33 years, how do you manage a busy professional life and keeping your family as number one priority?
A little bit of wine, for sure. Well, family always comes first, and I've been blessed to work for a group of people who have the same core beliefs as I do. Their families come first to them, and so they appreciate the fact that my family comes first to me. So it's really give and take. So if I have a sick child at home, or there's a school trip, I would go. I would take the morning off and go. But that would also mean that 8 o'clock at night, after I put the kids to bed, I go back to work and get it done. The job has never been a 9 to 5 kind of gig. There's a lot of flexibility, and you do the work when it needs to be done. The other part of it is too that because I live here in Niagara, I'm close to family, and so when my children weren't with myself or my husband, they were with one of the grandparents, getting spoiled and getting taken care of. So I really never had to worry about that, and I know how very lucky I was and am to be in that situation.
With all your experience, you must have many stories about helping entrepreneurs get off the ground. What are some memorable stories of you helping someone and guiding someone to become a success?
One that really sticks in my mind is around the closure of Atlas Steels in, I believe it was 2004. That was a really tough time for our community, and we had a lot of people, families that were going to be affected. So our chamber mobilized a number of different partners. We brought a GED program to town. We worked with the credit union to provide interest-free loans to be able to access the program and write the exam. Just a lot of different things that we brought together. We also put together a special chamber membership package for displaced workers so that they could access some health benefits and get some support in starting up a business. So we hosted, I guess you would call it a trade show, where we talked about all of these resources, and it coincided with the last shift of Atlas Steels. And we had our entire team out, every board member, every staff member were out that day at the trade show. We wanted to talk to everybody who came through the door, because everybody has a story, and we wanted to hear those stories, mostly so we could better understand maybe what else we needed to do, anticipating what else we needed to do. But I was lucky enough to talk to a man who came through the door. He must have been, I'd say probably his late 40s, really anxious about his future, really worried about, what the future would be for him and his family. He had worked at Atlas Steels his entire working career. That's all he had ever known, and so it was a very, very scary time. So as we had our conversation, he told me that he was a bricklayer by trade, and so I said, well, you're lucky, you've got a trade, and there's lots of work right now, there's a building boom, and I think you're going to be okay. Anyways, he was one of about a dozen people who took advantage of the chamber membership package. And we'll fast forward 3 years later. I was in the foyer reception area of our office, and he comes in to pay his membership dues 3 years later. And so I said, hey, how's it going? How's life been? And he said that life had never been better, that he had as much work as he wanted. He only took the jobs that he wanted to do. He was turning work away. That the previous winter he had spent a month in Florida because he could. And that, life was pretty good for him and his family. That always stays with me because everybody has an idea of what an entrepreneur is and what a business person looks like. And this was a fellow who, was out of his comfort zone. He wasn't really a business person. But through, crisis in his life, he became one. And he ended up having a good life in spite of the crisis that he overcame. And so that one always sticks with me. It makes me proud of the work that we do.
Are there any stories where businesses were unsuccessful in their journey?
Yeah, there's quite a few of those too. I think, the hardest conversation for me is when someone comes into the office to meet with me, and they have an idea, they have a plan, and they're really excited, and they're, looking at investing their life savings into this idea, and I know that it's not going to work. They haven't considered all the factors. They're missing the bigger picture, and I never want to kill someone's dream, but I wouldn't be able to sleep at night knowing that I'd encouraged someone to, take their life savings and move forward in something that I just knew. So a lot of times in those cases, I try and connect them with people who are much smarter than me, who can offer perhaps a different perspective. And sometimes, that different perspective gets them going down a slightly different path. Other times it doesn't. And, the outcome is what the outcome is. But those are always tough conversations for sure.
Would you say in business and in life there are always undesirable events that happen? So we talked about in business and being an employee, things will happen, but in life in general, are there always undesirable events that happen that you have noticed?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, life is hard.
Exactly.
There's some days where there's just not enough wine, right?
And it's not supposed to be easy.
Right. But we're resilient, and you just, you have to keep going. And, they say it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. It's true.
That's true.
It's true.
Yeah, Kanye West. Right?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And how did the success stories overcome any of the undesirable events that happened?
Definitely courage, determination, hard work, and a little bit of luck. Sometimes it really is about being the right place at the right time with the right idea. That's the luck part.
And how important is it to have a contingency plan, not only in the professional world, but also in personal life?
Oh, it's so important. I always have a plan B, a plan C, and a plan D, and after plan D, I'm screwed. But it's very important because sometimes things change, not because there's a crisis or something bad happening, but just because it's a natural, progression. And if you've considered options, then you're flexible and you can pivot, right? So life is already hard and stressful. Without those, plan B and C and D, it's too stressful. I like to always have, a backup plan.
And how have you seen people step up under pressure to overcome any undesirable events that happen to them and to achieve success, to go the extra mile to succeed?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll go back to that food drive that we did in the 90s. You know, the director who brought it to our table knew that it probably wouldn't be a popular item, you know, at our table because, well, you know, aren't there, you know, social services programs out there to do this? Like, why do we have to step up? But he had the courage to come and talk about it, and then he led the whole thing. You know, he participated in every meeting. He coordinated about 90% of the volunteers, and we had hundreds. And so he didn't just talk the talk, he put in the hard work to make sure that we were successful.
He walked the walk.
He did. And that's what you have to do.
Yeah. I think when there's a cause that's bigger than ourselves,
Right.
the courage just naturally comes.
Right. And the passion.
Yes.
Right.
And have you found that circumstances define individuals in the business world? Why or why not?
That's a great question. I would say it's not the circumstances, but rather how individuals react to the circumstances. You know, you either sink or swim, and your reaction will determine what that's going to be.
So with that being said, Michelle Obama, the former First Lady of the United States, in response to criticism, she's been known to say, when they go low, we must go high. Can you respond to this comment, when life goes low, we must go high?
Yeah, I think for me, it's you got to constantly be putting one foot in front of the other. And sometimes it feels like the steps are so little, right? Like I'm not making any progress. But when you stop and finally look behind you, you'll realize you've come a real long way. And that just provides you with the incentive to keep going. Staying still is not an option, right?
No.
And that's the most simple thing that you can do. We all know how to walk.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Either we're getting better or we're decaying, right? So
Right.
we're ripening or
Who
we're
wants-
rottening.
Yes, I don't want to rot.
We don't want to rot. No. So we only have a choice to keep going, and it's, you know, I tell my students now, I tell them it is, sometimes it's morning by morning, afternoon by afternoon, it's not even day by day,
Right.
and we wonder where we are, what are we doing?
Right.
But it's one step in front of the other, and brave
Yes.
along the way.
Gotta breathe.
Gotta breathe. Absolutely. And in your experience, where have you seen people who have had a clear vision and what they want to achieve? What were their results?
Yeah, this is a personal one because I always think of my parents, and I think this is a story that will resonate with a lot of other people here in Niagara. I'm second generation Italian, and so you know, my parents were barely 20 years old, newlyweds, decided to leave their families, got on a boat, didn't know the language, didn't have any money, and they came here to Canada. And they came because they wanted a better life, you know, that they were focused on a better life, not just for themselves, but the family that they were planning to have. And so, you know, they come to this country and they work hard and they're very focused. And, you know, there's a story that my dad tells that's fresh because he told it not so long ago. One of his first jobs was working as a farmhand, and he remembered that every afternoon the farmer's wife would come out with a pitcher of Kool-Aid. But he remembers that kindness, you know, and so you give a thirsty man a glass of Kool-Aid on a hot day, they remember that kindness for the rest of their life, right? It's not the grand gestures, it's those little random acts of kindness that really stay with people. But thanks to their vision, their focus, their determination, their courage, their hard work, here I am, right? Here I am.
And if someone can get inside of your mind and see what you see, what would you hope that they would learn?
Oh, I would hope that they would learn that life is good. You know, even in scary times, challenging times, there's something good happening. And I think every day we have to be mindful of that and take a moment to just be grateful. Find that little nugget each and every day. For me, most days it's the health and well-being of my family, but sometimes it's as simple as finding a great bottle of wine, or something cute that my puppy's done. It doesn't need to be deep or heavy, just something that gives you a little bit of joy.
What is next for you as a champion for Niagara and to continue to be a force for good?
Yeah, I mean, times have changed really quickly, and so I would like to be part of a group that continue to spread the word that Niagara is a great place to be. Make sure that Niagara is a good place to raise a family and to work and to enjoy life. I mean, those are all the things that are here. But to continue to spread the word about that and to make sure that we're developing partnerships that are positive, and that we're working together in a real positive way.
And with that being said, what would you say is your superpower?
Oh boy. Okay, so can I go with two?
Absolutely.
The first, I think, is I'm really able to stay calm in the midst of chaos. It's not always easy, but I think when you're in a leadership type of role, people are looking for you for direction, and if you've lost your mind, nobody's following. So I'm able to do that, and I think the other thing is that I'm able to connect people. Because I've been around for so long and I've met a lot of people, I know people, and not just in a hey, how's it going kind of way, but I know what they're doing, I know what they need, and so when I'm having conversations, it's always in the back of my mind, and I'm able to listen and say, oh my gosh, you need to talk to so-and-so because they were just talking about this, and it relates to what you're doing. Okay, let's get you connected. That's something that I'm able to do on a pretty regular basis, and I just love to see how those connections pan out.
And superheroes need a sidekick sometimes, right?
True.
Like Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Superman and Lois Lane.
Right.
And Wonder Woman.
Right.
And Steve.
Yes.
Yes. Right? So what song is playing in the background of your life right now? If there was a theme song to your life, what would we have playing?
Definitely Kanye West, Stronger.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Kanye West.
Kanye West.
The words just really, it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. Absolutely. And that beat, I mean, it just motivates you, right?
Yes. For a run, on the bike.
All of it.
All of it.
All of it.
Whatever we're doing. Well, Dolores, I can't think of a better way to end our conversation today. All of us at the Atrium like to thank you for being here today. You truly are a ray of hope.
Aww.
And you shine a bright light for all those you see. So thank you for being the example of someone who fights to the final round. And thank you for being a reminder of here in Niagara, we do not give up and we do not give in. So thank you for being here with us and sharing with us your knowledge and your stories.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Happy to be here.
Have a great day.
You too.